Hi. So we also have this throw statement, and you can use the throw statement to raise new errors. If you want to raise an error, you'll use the throw statement to throw a new type of error. So we've seen that you have these errors which are there in JavaScript, and you can use them, you can handle them if you anticipate them, or you can throw your own errors. If I come here in the MDN section on error handling, you'll find that we have this throw statement, and you can throw an error. You can throw different types of errors. You can throw an error as a string, you can throw an error of 42, and then in the catch block, you would be able to handle this error that you've thrown. So you can throw a Boolean type. If you throw an error, you can handle it in the catch statement. This is mostly if you want to throw custom errors. Maybe you want a number between a certain limit. Maybe you want a number to be entered between 1 and 10. You can use your own custom errors to throw an error. You can use the throw statement to throw a custom error, and then you'll handle that error in the catch section of the error. So if I come here, you can use it to raise new custom errors. So you can throw your error, and then you'll handle the error in there. So if you come back here into the browser and then into Scratchpad, you can see I have modified this code so that we can have an example. So this is all the same. Alert, the value of num is my num. I've just changed the variable my num, and its square is, so this is just the same thing. The only thing that has changed here is there we still have the alert removed, and then var my num, we have num. So you'll enter the number. You saw this in the last video. You just enter the number, and then here we are checking if the number that I enter is not a number. This is a function to check if a function is not a number. If the value that you enter here, I enter here, is not a number, we are going to throw a new type error. So if the value here that I enter is not a number, we can throw new type error, and we can give it, and this is what the message will be. So you can see in this case I've given it a custom message, not a number. So that means that if the number I enter is not a number, if I enter an alphabet number, it's going to tell me it's not a number, and it's going to deliver the message. So here you can see I'm using this e.message thing. So what this is when you get the error from the try block, normally you'll find that it will have certain sections. It can have a message, it can have a name, like a type error, that's a name. It can have a message. You can also put it such that there are line numbers. So if you want specific line numbers, you can go and see how to add line numbers. So if you want to learn more about this, there is this link on MDN. We'll have a lot more message about this. So here, if a number is not a number, it will throw the type error. If my num is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, will throw new error, and this will tell us that the num must be over 0. So when you throw new error, this is a custom error for me. So this is just a custom error, and this will be the message of the error. And then the result, the power my num, and then it will alert result for us. We can choose to alert result, or we can wait for it to give us the result down here. So let's run this and see how it goes. And we are going to run it such that we are going to enter a value which is not a number, then we are going to enter a number which is less than 0, so that we can see what happens. This is just an example, but you know that you can have the square of negative numbers, right? So this is just an example for you, and you can choose to do whatever you want with this part, but this is just an example in my case. So if I run this, and let's start by saying AB. So if we enter AB, Okay, so it will tell us that this is a type error and the message is not a number. Then okay, and it will alert the value is not a number and its square is undefined. So if you run this again, run and enter a number, let's maybe enter -3. Then okay, unknown error, number must be over 0. So you can see this is a custom error that I just put in there. Maybe I want the value that is put to always be positive. Then okay, the value of num is -3 and its square is undefined. So what if we enter a good number, run, and then let's just enter 3. Okay, it will give us the value of 9, and then it will also give us the finally section, which will tell us the value that we entered and its square. So that's it for this section. And here what you need to understand the most is that you can throw custom errors. You see, in this case there doesn't have to be an error here, but I was able to throw a custom error such that if anyone inputs a number which is less than 0, it is going to be an error. So think of a different scenario. Of course, for a power, a square, you can multiply two negative numbers and it will give you a positive square number. But if this was something else, maybe you're taking a number from users and maybe it's a bank account and you don't want them to add negative numbers, you would do something similar. Just throw an error there so that if they input a value which is less than 0, maybe you shouldn't be able to input negative numbers in maybe your bank account. If the user enters a negative number, it will give them this error and tell them that the number must be over 0. So this is just an example and you can use it however you wish. You can also try to simulate all these other errors. Maybe up here you can create an array and then try to access the different elements of the array. You can access the length of the array and then try to simulate something like a range error, whereby you try to access an element which is way out of length of the array. So you can just use something similar to achieve that. So this was the section on errors, and if you have more questions, let me know. Also, you should go to MDN and read more about this error thing, because you'll find that most people handle errors differently, and it all depends on you, because you'll find the same issue has been handled by different programmers in different ways. So there is no one way of doing everything, but this will work in all browsers. If you write this the way it is, it will work on all browsers. You handling different types of errors is a good idea because it is good for user experience. So I will see you in the next part of this JavaScript tutorial.